this stronghold is controlling, church, rise up and then break through. This is the positive. Rise up and break through. I want you to open with me now in the 2 Samuel. Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Nevertheless, here we are. We are following what God has commanded them. Now, King David, the second king of the United Kingdom of Israel, the north and the south, they become one. And then Saul is there. And so the Israel under Saul is now joining with David. And he was accepted. This will be the third time that he was anointed king of the northern and the anointed king. And he was accepted by the northern kingdom. The 10 tribes of Israel submit to him as the second king anointed by God. There is the word of the Lord. Nevertheless, David captured, take note, the fortress of Zion, the stronghold, the city of David. On that day, David said, anyone who conquered the Jebusites will have to use water shaft to reach those lame and blind who are David's enemies. That is why they say the blind and the lame will not enter the palace. Take note of the word. David took up residence in the fortress, that is a stronghold, and called it the city of David. I will explain to you in a few moments. And it became more and more powerful because the Lord God Almighty was with him. The reason why? He destroyed the strongholds. No compromise. He did it by the power of the Lord. Now the key city in this context is Jerusalem. Now to Jerusalem right now. Now it is now in the hands of a powerful kingdom by the name of Jebusites. Now this strategic city is in the position now with the Jebusites. Saul is dead. How come this city, supposedly under the kingdom of Israel, is now in the hand of the unbelieving enemy of the Lord? And we don't know the reason how, and it is not revealed in the Bible how it was conquered by the Jebusites. Now you will notice the strong message of the enemy to the people of God. Look at this. They are using the blind and the lame to hold them back from entering their place or Jerusalem. You know, the message of that is very, very strong. If you are a soldier, a strong soldier, and then you are confronted with a soldier that are blind and lame, that is tantamount or equivalent to humiliating you with 5-star general and is insulting you. Because the fortress is so thick, impregnable, it's not easy for you to penetrate in a natural sense. So I'll just use the blind and the lame. It will take care of you, Israel. Humanly speaking, they cannot penetrate. But spiritually speaking, God can. And that's why, as people of God, we can penetrate and destroy strongholds in our lives. Now, the Jebusites are so proud because they have a very strong place of security. The fortress is unpenetrable, impregnable. In other words, put it this way, in our time, to penetrate in that place of Jerusalem, the city of David, he reclaimed it back, by the way. To attack that city, if we are living here in Quakers Hill, in attack somewhere there in Castle Hill, okay, there was a hill place in Quakers Hill a little bit below. Now what will happen, it is equivalent to suicide to the whole battalion of soldiers from Quakers Hill. In other words, they'll just sleep and have good time. Blind and lame is just for you. You are nothing. You are just a little thing. You are nobody. Now, they build their strongholds. Take note of this, that no human strength, no human ability can topple them down or subdue their pride of their buildings. In other words, their rights to remain strong and confident, because once they conquer it, listen to this word, and reside there, they address it as a permanent place of their dwelling or habitation. I'll make an application here. Why there are so many pastors and Christians in our time turn their back from consecrated and dedicated life to Christ? They become lukewarm and backslider. They are in the church, but lukewarm. Why there are more divorce in a Christian home than the secular world today? Why? I want you to take note of these questions because we'll have to deal with these strongholds. Why adultery and fornication became like acceptable culture adopted by Christians today, our kids and grandkids kissing and hugging, living together as boyfriend and girlfriends, they are now doing what the husband and wife are doing, and there is no sanctity of marriage in our time. It become a norm even for the believers today. Make it this an analogy and get the essence of what I'm trying to convey to you. There's a big piece of property here in Quakers Hill, 20 acres of land. Put it this way, the big football field here in Quakers Hill, 20 acres of land. Now the owner, who is very, very rich, living in Quakers Hill, said, okay, I think I have to sell 2 to 3 acres of my land at the center of the big piece of property to anyone who can pay that amount of money. And so there was a guy who is so persistent, and then he bought it with a good amount of money, and then the deal is finished. Boom, signed. Ownership has been transferred. Pay in cash. 3 acres of land in the midst of 20 acres of land in Quakers Hill. 6 months' time later, the beautiful place became like a trash place. Paper towels and plastic cups and bottles are thrown all over the place. The music of that person in that big house is so loud and so disturbing, so annoying. And so the owner decided, finally, he said, I have to kick him out, and I have to buy back what he paid to me. I want to buy back the 3 acres of land. Here is the money. He said, no, it's mine. I have the rights. According to the law of the land, I have the legal owner. I can do anything. It's mine. He cannot do anything because he paid in full, and the government, with the stamp of approval, he owns the property. He cannot intimidate. You know, divorce happened because of the pride of 2 persons. Pride. That stronghold has to be cut off. No place. Instead of pride, humility begin. God resisted the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. Lord, make me humble. Don't allow the stronghold of pride to reside in your heart. It has to be out. It is deadly. So, because both of them, in the divorce, both of them are right. There's no wrong. Now, how come that love between husband and wife decline and the other become stubborn in heart? You know what? The best thing to do is cultivate love by the help of the divine love of God. Look your wife, your husband, your children, how God look at them. These people that are close to me, they are destined with me. God put them to me so we can be together in the kingdom of light. They are there. Look at them as eternal being who will be with you, not an enemy. So cultivate that love. Adultery and fornication. Live in because you open the door to pornography. It started from little things. Listen to those strongholds in the Christian context. And here we are, Des was telling us, in a big 2,000, 3,000 pastors in a big city. And 70% of these pastors are watching pornography after the seminar. 70%. So it is not the office, it is a personal stronghold in the human heart. So nobody is super holy. I am accountable, you're accountable. A stronghold has to be conquered. Because they open the door to pornography. And then flirting with the younger men or younger ladies. That's opening the door to Satan. Now, spiritual vigor in strength is sapped because of giving your desire in feeding your heart, your mind, with the secular wisdom what is offered by the world that everybody is enjoying. I have to have a share of that peace. Because I'm a normal person, I live like everybody else. Watch out for these things. When I was young, I love action movies. I like James Bond. During the 69, 70, we want to watch, James Bond and the Cowboys movie, Now, before the desired picture is played, they're very wise, the movie theater. They're going to give the advertisement of what is going to happen next week. Very exciting, next week. Our heart is toward James Bond, but next week is about cowboy, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we're looking, we enjoyed this, but next week, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we did it. I watched it. It's a good movie that increased the stamina of my desire, strength of my desire. And so, in many instances, because we're living in a barrio, I want you to see this. Putting it in a secular example, how much more in a spiritual example, we have only money good for the movie, and sometimes we have only money good for one fare for the bus. In many cases, going back home, we don't have money. We have to walk 7 kilometers. That's just to satisfy our movie desire. In most cases, we don't eat lunch just to watch the movie. You see that? Yeah, I'm telling you what happened to us. Our stomach is growling. I love the movie, but we were hungry. We have to walk 7 kilometers. We have to walk for 2 hours before we reach our barrio from the town. Okay, we become servant of our heart's desire to satisfy our eyes, our hearts for movies. When you allow the desires hold you, the time comes when you decide to quit. And you go deeper and deeper. Listen, the stronghold of Satan would say, no, I have all the rights. I want to quit, I want to divorce. No, I have all the rights. You can say, I don't like you. He would say to you, I live in here. He lives in the heart. You cannot kick him as you want to. You can. You need the miracle of the Lord. You need someone to pray for you. You need to fast. Because he resides there for many months or maybe years. So that his strongholds has to be cut off. This is the reason that holiness and commitment, the total commitment to follow Christ is, take and listen, rare, uncommon to find in many churches of Jesus Christ today. They hate the teaching of holiness and righteousness. They want to play around with church. They go to church, what are in happiness, go home, let's eat and have movies and have fun. Those are what we call infancy. There must be a time to grow up and understand you are not the victim, but you are the victor. Amen? Some are pastors and pastors' wife and deacon and elders. Listen, once the rattlesnake in your heart grow, it is there growing in the recesses of your heart. Oh, it's all right. I can manage it. I can handle it. Listen, in due time, in the appointed time, when he has all the capability and you control you so much, he will bite you to death. In the effect, he has no mercy. The result of that is devastating to you, devastating to your children, devastating to your husband and to your wife, devastating to your church, devastating to your neighborhood. Yes, God will forgive. And brothers and sisters can say, I forgive you, I understand, I care for you, I pray for you. But listen to this, but the damage you make has a scar that cannot be erased. God can forgive. So a stronghold, God said, destroy it. So 6 and 7, and the king went to Jerusalem against the Jebusites. Verse 7. Nevertheless, David captured the fortress of Zion. David took the stronghold of Zion, that is the city of David. He took hold. I want you to give this wonderful medicine that you have. 2 Corinthians 2:14. Go backward there. Yeah, thank you. Because we know, take note of this, because we know, all of us, that the one who raised the Lord Jesus Christ from the dead will also raise us with Jesus, present and present. This is another one. 2 Corinthians 2:14. Is that one? Okay. I have to read it. Maybe that's right. I give the wrong. But something is mentioned there. Now, thanks be to God. This is the word. 2 Corinthians 2:14. Okay. 2 Corinthians 2:14. Now, thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumph in Christ. Church, the promise of God is very strong. Thanks be to Jesus Christ, who gave us victory. The word that he used there, victory, the next word is always. Not only once a month or maybe once a week, always. So the victory is given to you. Not to the pastors, not to the missionary, to all of us. You can live over and above the circumstances and problems of your life. So, Jerusalem, as a political headquarters of David, he conquered it. Church, we must conquer the strongholds that hinder us today. Lastly, repossess what the enemy has stolen. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Go back there. Thank you. With the boldest arguments and every pretension that sets itself against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. John Wesley says, comment, destroy all vain. The word vain means destroy all useless reasonings. This mind is brilliant. So much information. Destroy all vain and useless reasonings in our minds and our heart. Entirely give itself up to Christ, our conqueror, in obedience of faith. In other words, until such moment and time, listen to me, that our reasoning and the things that we know in our hearts is turned over to Christ, that stronghold of human finite understanding that you used to know before will cripple you to be able to go to a level of spiritual maturity. You and I must grow, and the only thing to do is to submit your reasoning in your mind. God, I submit, I am empty. Allow me to understand wisdom, knowledge that is heavenward in nature. Listen to this. The heart is used as the stronghold of the Spirit of God. And at the same heart is used as the stronghold of Satan. Ephesians 4:20-30. Let's go there. You were taught with regards to your former way of life to put off your old self, old nature, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires. Number one, okay, to repossess the enemies has stolen, God is giving us, because we can triumph. Number one, the Bible says our hearts must be